Sorry, start again. Good morning, everyone. I would like to recognize that the area that we call the Fraser Valley Regional District has been home to Indigenous peoples for generations. There are 31 communities with reserve lands in the FERD's jurisdiction and as many as 69 groups with interests in the area. We honor our commitment to collaboration, inclusion, and reconciliation in our work here today. So with that in mind, I would like to call to order the May 15th, 2025 Regional and Corporate Services Committee meeting. First item, please.
Looking for approval of the agenda, and late items.
So moved, Madam Chair.
Moved by Director Facio, seconded by Director Castle. All in favor? Motion's carried. Next item.
4.1 is the draft Regional and Corporate Services Committee meeting minutes of April 10th, 2025.
Moved by Director Pranger, second by Director Clute. All in favor? Motion's carried. Next item.
5.1 is the Fraser Valley Regional District Board and Committee Procedures Bylaw number 1772.
Anyone? Moved by Director Pranger. Do we have a seconder? Director Popov. Any comments, questions? No? All right. All in favor? Motion. Any opposed? I see a lot of hands go up. Okay, motion's carried. Next item.
6.1 is the 2024 Grant Financial Accountability Reporting. This is an information item, but happy to answer any questions.
Any questions, Director Castle?
Thank you, Chair Ross. I just had a question with regards to the reporting on the regional grants. In some of the reporting, it's very explicit, the regional benefits of the monies, and in some of them, it's hard to determine. They don't really spell out the regional nature of how the funds were used, and I'm just wondering if that's something that we could consider in those reporting, because I know that even in some of the deliberations of approving them, there were some questions around that. So I would love to be able to see in the reporting back how the funds were actually used regionally.
Okay. Sure. Through the chair to Director Castle, we'd be happy to take that into consideration for the 2025 process.
Thank you. Anyone else? No? All right. Next item, please.
6.2 is the 2024 Forced Labor Reporting. There is a motion for your consideration.
We have a mover. Director Horn, seconded by Director Clute. Director McHonick?
Yeah, just a small correction in the document. It says it should read 2025, May 31st in the supporting document, and at the very top it says May 24th, or it says 2024. So just something small error. Thank you.
Thank you. Good catch, Director McHonick. All right. Anyone else? No? All right. All in favor? Motion's carried. Next item.
7.1.1 is the proposed car seat recycling pilot program.
So moved, Madam Chair.
Director Facio, seconded by Director Horn. Anyone speaking? Director McHonick.
I just was wondering how we came up with this, and this first I'd heard of it, so not that I'm for or against, I just wanted to know what our role is, why we'd be doing this, and how this came to be. Just curious. Thank you.
Sure. I think we'll turn things over to Lance Lilly to answer that one.
Hey, good morning. Thank you. Through the chair. This came about because we had staff attend a conference in October of last year, and the company here was presenting, discussing that they had this new opportunity, that they found out that the car seat plastic was similar to their existing business looking at car bumper recycling. And they were essentially talking about it as an opportunity. And we followed up and reached out afterwards to see if they'd be interested in participating in the Fraser Valley.
And if I can just further add, of course, in our solid waste management plan, we do have a goal of increasing diversion and recycling. So whenever these kinds of opportunities come forward, staff are made aware of it. or there's opportunities for partnership, we certainly explore it as directed by the board.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Director Siemens?
Thank you. I appreciate the initiative. I think this is really good. And I know we haven't quite secured the sites yet. Just wondering how that, once the sites are secured, are we going to be sharing this with the various, like the communication component of it? Are we going to work in conjunction with the cities to make sure we get the message out, or what's our plan for that component of it?
Ms. Kinman?
Sure, I think that Lance can answer that one as well.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you, through the chair. This project idea came about through discussions with the SWAT team, our Solid Waste Action Team, which is made up of municipal members involved in solid waste. And we specifically reached out to those staff members, and they certain ones expressed interest and even nominated potential sites for their municipalities to host these bags. Super sacks, I think they're called. But once we do secure contract, we will be engaging those municipal staff again and working out more details around specific locations and what would be needed. They need certain space and a pallet, for example, in order to put these super sacks on, and those conversations will be had. Yes.
Thank you. Director Clute?
Thank you. Much in line with Director Siemens. I was curious on how we were going to get that message across, but that's already been answered, so thank you. One additional question. If this should be supported here today, when do we foresee this beginning? That we would actually, is that once the locations have been identified, I assume, but probably pretty quick?
Through the chair, I'm being told as soon as July.
Awesome. Great. Seeing no one else, I'll call the question. All in favor? Motion's carried. Next item.
7.2.1 is the Parks and Trails Strategic Plan Project Initiation. There is a motion for your consideration.
Do we have a mover? Director McConaughey, seconder, Director Castle, Director Wardenberg?
Yeah, question to staff, and I see Graham isn't here, but I was just wondering if amenity cost charges can be applied to regional parks for acquisition or maintenance if we formed a amenity cost charge for this purpose.
Excellent question. I'm not sure that we'll be able to answer that here today, but I'll just look to our Deputy CEO, Stacy Barker.
Thank you for that question. Regional staff are also interested in understanding additional funding opportunities for parks in general. And so we'll be having further conversations with Graham to understand if that is a source of funding and if that could be used. So I do think that that would be part of this exploration.
All right. Director Horn.
Thank you. Interested in that question as well, but I'll wait for the answer. Just on the scope of this, my understanding in speaking with municipal staff in Mission is that Heritage Park is essentially a unique arrangement and would likely not be a part of this, which is something I'm quite comfortable with. I just wanted to check on that. I think there's a long history of that parks management being because of collaboration with local Indigenous nations. So just wanted to make sure it's not being considered as part of this.
That's correct. It would not be considered as a part of this process.
Okay, thank you. Perfect.
Thank you. Seeing no other speakers. All in favor of the motion? None opposed. Motion's carried. Next item.
7.3.1 is the BC Transit 2025 to 2026 expansion funding. It is an information item.
Anyone wish to speak to this? Director Castle.
Thank you, Chair Ross. So yeah, obviously this is a disappointing report. My question is with regards to how many times has a similar request to this been submitted to BC Transit for the North Fraser?
Through the chair, the feasibility studies and that sort of work has been in the TIPS program for several years, but the actual implementation, this was the first run through to get that.
Okay, so it's been worked on for a number of years. This is the first time that we've actually submitted a request. Okay, thank you.
Dr. Horn?
Yes, I know last year there was a question regarding a similar challenge where some things were funded locally and Chilliwack wasn't included. That produced a conversation at BC Transit regarding ensuring that as a criterion, we looked at whether or not an application in the past had not been funded and what that would do to it in the future. So I think it's a positive story that the first no isn't the ultimate no. And I think that's a really good thing. And certainly Mission has been recently an advocate for this moving forward as part of our longer vision for an extended service that reaches all the way to transit funded services. So I'm optimistic that this will happen. And whether it's here, whether it's at the regular board meeting, I think it might be worthwhile to give staff a heads up and ask what we've done in terms of advocating to the Ministry of Transportation and Transit on expanding funding, because that's what this really comes down to, is if the ministry funds more of the transit improvement planning that's going on, then BC Transit has that money to dole out. It's really at that level that the challenge exists. And I think we've already advocated, most recently at LMLGA, for example, for expanded infrastructure funding, including transit funding to meet the housing crisis programming that we're all doing. But in any event, I would just maybe give a heads up to staff that perhaps we should be prepared for a motion or question on this at the regular board meeting. If necessary, if we haven't done it most fairly recently, we might need to write to the minister and encourage more funding in the future.
Thank you. Dr. Fazio?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Yeah, I'm very disappointed about this outcome at the moment. All the meetings we've had in the past year with BC Transit, nothing to do with the regional district, BC Transit has been very positive in moving forward with this route to Agassiz to Mission, and I'm very disappointed that this is being pushed back. I agree with Director Horn that at the board meeting we should look at sending a letter to the minister with our concerns over this, and also maybe a delegation if it's booked for UBCM to discuss this as well. I've been telling our residents that it looks good. I never told them it's going to happen, but it was looking good for next year to have this route from Agassiz to Mission. A lot of people were quite excited about it, especially those that wanted to catch the train from Mission into Vancouver, catching the bus there. So I'm personally very disappointed, but I say that's something that has to be dealt with at the higher level. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, certainly a surprise and a disappointing one. All right. So next item, please.
The next item is items for information, items 9.1 and 9.2. Happy to separate either of those.
Anyone wishing to speak to those? No? All right,
Okay.
next item.
Moving down to reports by directors.
Anyone? Dr. McCahonick?
I just wanted to express how grateful I am to the community, the first responders that came from all over the Lower Mainland, and people in my community that searched and successful search for one of our smaller community members. So just wanted to put that out there, and really, really heartening to see community come together like that. So, and it was right in my own neighborhood of Slessie. So now we're providing some supports for the families. So thank you.
Thank you. All right. Director Horn.
Thank you. Two items. As some of you may have seen in the news, the derelict ferry, the Queen of Sydney, caught fire not very far from my home. Luckily, a critical alert went out at 3:45 in the morning, and we all closed our windows. We weren't breathing in the fumes of the lead paint. This has caused us to remuster our advocacy efforts about abandoned and derelict vessels, I should say, in our major waterways and along the coast. We'll be meeting hopefully with our two MPs that serve Mission, as well as inviting Mayor Dan Rumi from Maple Ridge, where the barge recently sank. If other electoral or municipal leaders are interested in participating, if you have the same issue in your community, we'd be happy to hear from you and to collaborate with you on this advocacy, because as you may know, it's been something we've been working on since 2007. So it's literally the ferry and the issue are both stuck in the mud. On a good news story this morning, Fraser Health announced an $18 million investment in the Mission Emergency Room, which will raise the number of beds there from 17 to 41. And I raise that here to say thank you to all of the members of this board, which are also our hospital board members, for their advocacy and more collaboration. I think this is a harbinger of more good things to come, and particularly for my colleagues along the North Fraser who've been advocates, because we've sort of taken a three-pronged approach. The hospital district, North Fraser community leaders, and Mission, we have started to, I think, make some headway, and I think we'll hopefully continue that momentum. There's some really tangible changes happening there in terms of how the leadership is responding to municipal input. So thank you.
Thank you. Director Fazio.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This coming Saturday, the 17th, at the Harrison Marina on Rockwell Drive, Seabird Island, will be having their official ceremony as they purchase that marina. So it's 11 o'clock on this coming Saturday. I think it goes on till about 4 in the afternoon, but the official ceremony is at 11 o'clock for those who are interested. Thank you.
Thank you. Director Smith.
Hi, thank you. So in the last 2 weeks, we between ourselves and two private businesses in Hope I went out to myself, we put up 4 bins in the homeless camps and they filled them. The homeless filled the bins up themselves, cleaned up the area. Made quite a difference in that, and I went around and thanked a lot of them for doing that. It's just that, you're trying to get that. We're going into fire season. We need it cleaned up, but the homeless people themselves cleaned the camp up, so we're quite happy that we did 2 different spots. And we did 4 very large bins full of stuff, so that's a good sign.
Thank you. I have one item. I just wanted to congratulate our Director Horn on being elected to the Lower Mainland Local Government Association Board, and thank you very much for stepping up, representing the Fraser Valley. All right. Anything else? No?
Okay, so now we can move to public question period for items relevant to the agenda, and we'll just turn things over to our Deputy Corporate Officer, Lauren Olenek.
Thank you, Ms. Kinnaman. We have no members of the public joining us in person or online today, and we have not received any written correspondence.
All right. And we just need a motion to adjourn.
To close the meeting.
Sorry.
So moved, Madam Chair.
Okay, Director Fazio, second by Director Clute, all in favor. Motion is carried.
Okay, just give us a couple of minutes to set up the room.